Hello guys, welcome to Inside Out with Emmanuel. Here we talk about issues of life and how to solve them. Back in the days when I was in the university, I had this lecturer who always opened his class by asking, "What's in the news?" Then we go ahead and talk about the prevailing circumstances at that time, and that forms the foundation on which we, go on with our class. Today, I want us to talk about what's in the news. And what's in the news is quite disturbing actually. Last week was really tough. I felt overwhelmed by the wave and wave of negative news emanating from different parts of the world. First, there was the gruesome murder of George Floyd by a Minneapolis police officer in the United States. It's hard to see that racism still persists in our society. Second, then there was the shooting of Tina, a 16-year-old girl who was shot in Lagos for absolutely doing nothing. Then the images emerged of the murder of people in Kaduna, and then towards the end of the week there was also the issue of Uwa, a Uniben student who was raped and murdered in a church. And then just around that time there was also news of a 12-year-old girl in Jigawa who was raped, or should I say who has been raped by 11 men. I just can't help but feel overwhelmed by all this, because I feel like society should have evolved past that. But then these things still persist. And what hurts me more are the comments I see people make. This lady has been raped, and then you're asking, what was she doing in the church? Why was she reading in the church? What was she wearing? Why was she dressed like that? It is never about that. Rape is never about the victim, but the perpetrator of the crime. It is a crime against humanity, and no one should be subjected to that kind of treatment. From the events of last week, it means that women have been raped in church. There have been rape cases in the mosque. There have been rape cases in the clubs. There have been rape cases on the streets. Girls have been raped in their own father's house and in their own houses too. So where is safe? Where should they go? Should they lock themselves up in a cupboard because there are men out there, or because there are people out there who don't have a hold over their urges? And it's also not about what she is wearing. It's never about that. I have seen a video of a man having sex with sheep. Yes, it's a very disturbing video, but I saw it. He was having sex with a sheep. So do we ask the sheep to also watch where he's going to, or watch how he is dressed? What's wrong with those people? It's quite disturbing. Rape is about people who don't have control over their urges, and some who for one reason or the other feel like they are entitled to another person's body. We need to teach ourselves how to control our urges, how to exhibit restraint, how to have self-control. That is the problem. Not about the victim, it's the person involved. And for the second class, some people just feel entitled to another person's body. Let me say this emphatically. No one, no matter what, is entitled to another person's body. It doesn't matter how much you spent on the person. It doesn't matter what you've done. You put her through school. You did whatever it is you did. You don't have a right to her body. And when she says no, it means no. Any sex without consent is rape. It doesn't matter even if she's your wife or your husband, because we've had cases of men being raped too. It doesn't matter if the person is your spouse or not. As long as consent is not given, it is rape, and it is punishable in the court of law. The case of the killings in Kaduna and also that in the United States is kind of similar, because these are sentimental killings, yeah? For one reason or the other, some people feel like they're better than another. Like, you feel like you're better, you feel like you're superior. Alright, I really want to ask this racist a question. On what grounds do you feel, or should I say, what's the ground on which you feel you're superior to another person or to another race? The color of your skin? We all know that this is just our skin color is more like clothes that we put on. Here's a picture of a doctor dressed like a doctor. He might as well be a model dressed as a doctor. No one knows. But do you think that what qualifies him to be a doctor is what he's wearing on the outside, or the things that he has learned and imbibed on the inside? The real man is on the inside and not the outside. If this doctor now goes for an interview, do you think that the interview panel will judge his ability to perform his duties based on how good he looks in the clothes or what he can do? When you cut me, I bleed red. And when you cut you too, you bleed red. If I put up my skeleton and put up your skeleton, they are all bloody the same thing. You're flesh and blood, I am flesh and blood, you're nothing but dust, I am nothing but dust. So what makes you feel like you are superior to me? Here in Nigeria, like especially in Kaduna, we're having killings that could be or could not be motivated by religion or politics or whatever it is. But let me say this here, you see, before you are anything that you are, before you believe in anything that you believed in, before you become whatever it is that you are, you were first a human being. And the law of humanity supersedes all. Everyone has the right to live. You don't have the right to take anyone's life on whatsoever ground. It is funny how we claim to be the most evolved species, but then we exhibit some really, really barbaric traits. The concept of evolution means that desirable traits are passed from one generation to the other, while the undesirable traits are held back. It seems to me that the evolution of human society is in reverse. Desired traits, desired characters, desired virtues like love, peace, equity, justice, they seem to be held back, while undesired traits like hatred, anger, division, malice, and racism, and rape, and others passed on to the next generation. If I get a goat from the US and then get another goat from Saudi Arabia and then one from Africa, and I put them here and I give them food to eat, they are most probably going to eat and, do their thing. You know why? Because they know that they are all goats. Something as basic as that, such an understanding that even animals have, we human beings don't have it. How are we more involved than them? Seriously, what's so difficult in seeing and knowing that we are all human beings? Do you need wisdom for that? Animals do it. When you're trying to scold people, sometimes you tell them, stop behaving like an animal. You see, when I saw that video of that police officer kneeling on George's neck, I didn't think he was behaving like an animal, because no animal will do that. If you say he is behaving like an animal, it's an insult to the animal and not him. Yes, I'm sure goats look at each other behaving randy and be like, hey, yo, Billy, stop behaving like a human. Yeah, stop behaving like a human, because these humans be crazy. They be killing each other and be... we find ourselves exhibiting the same barbaric traits and pass it from one generation to the other. I would like to propose that we make our evolution progressive and not regressive. And by that I mean, let us consciously decide that we are going to pass on only positive traits from one generation to the other and try as much as possible to hold back the negative ones. I have decided that every young person I see, every child I see, every representative of the next generation I see, I'll teach him love. I'll teach him justice. I'll teach him peace. And the hatred and resentment that is so embedded in our hearts, I will try as much as possible to not pass it on. You need to make that decision. It has to be a conscious decision. We all must work at it. Destroy the fabrics, destroy the foundations of racism in our society, destroy the foundation of anger in our society. Teach each other. Let's teach the next generation to learn to control their urges. Teach our boys to learn to respect women. Women are not property to be owned. It's not something you can just go and buy in the market and use the way you want. A woman is a human being, and you do not have the right to treat her any less. I believe that we have a responsibility to stand as a vanguard, to stand as a line of defense between these traits and the next generation. We stand and form a barrier, and we say, no, racism, you will not pass on to the next generation. Hatred, no, you are not going there. Rape, no way, no way, you're ending here. You're not going, you're not passing to the next generation. No. We stand and say, okay, nepotism, violence, all these. No, 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 we're not passing you down. We're not passing you down. You stopping right here. I believe this is our responsibility as a people. Let's teach, let's make sure that these things don't seep through. They don't seep through to the next generation. And you can die knowing that you have made the world better for the next generation that's coming. I intend to get married. I'm afraid of bringing children into this world. I don't know how I will protect them. I will hate them to experience the things that people are experiencing today. And I'm sure you don't want your children to experience that too. So let's form a barrier. Let's say no more. Will you be passed down from generation to generation? No. We're limiting you to this generation, and it is possible. If I don't teach my children hate, they won't get it anywhere. If you don't teach your children racism, they won't get it anywhere. We have to be deliberate about it. Every school teacher, every pastor, every imam, everyone that has an area of influence, everyone that works with children, explain these concepts to them, that we are one. Well, that's it on Inside Out today. I'm sorry I didn't smile a lot like I used to. It's just that these things, they're very personal to me. And I'm very passionate about issues like that. And I really wish they will not be heard amongst us anymore. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Share this video and spread it with people and get them to be committed to creating the barrier between these toxic traits and the next generation. Follow me on Twitter and on Instagram so that we can connect on all levels. My DMs are open if you want to talk or suggest anything you want us to talk about. And I believe we together can make and create a better world and evolve progressively. Thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate you. I apologize that this episode is longer than the others and I took more time. It's because, well, I felt like I really need to drive home the point. Thank you for watching once again.